Hey, hey, what's going on? Good morning, good morning. What's up, family? TSpeaks here. Listen, wanted to give you the third step towards success. Keeping up with my word, as I said early in the week, even last weekend, I'm back on in a major way. And I recognize many people are looking for success, and whatever they're looking to do. You can be successful at painting a house. You can be successful at building a bed for your kids, building a shed, successful at getting out of the single relationship or single lane into a relationship, successful at a marriage as opposed to dating, successful at becoming a world-renowned speaker, traveling the world and speaking engagements and books and all of that. Whatever the case may be, there is a level of success I recognize that many want to get to, and sometimes they have a little trouble getting to it. Few issues that they encounter along the way. One of the things I gave for success, number one, is write the vision. What does the finished product look like? When someone says, I want to be successful, you want to be successful at what? Not just to talk it, because everyone knows within talking, sometimes you can forget what you said. You ever say, oh, I need to write this down. Oh, I need to remember that. We can't even remember phone numbers right now. And the way technology and society is set up, we're not geared to remember anything. That's why most of the time we have to write things down. Oh, what's your phone number? Do you remember? Many of you don't. I'm old enough to remember when someone gave you a phone number, you wrote it down or you remembered it in your memory. Why? Because we just didn't have cell phones to type and put the number in. I may be dating myself, happy to do that because that means that I have a level of depth that this new generation, these millennials, don't have. I don't care what no one says. It's like planting seeds in soil that's this deep, as opposed to planting it and it's this deep. And that's what I think I received. Matter of fact, that's what I know I got. So I said, write the vision, make it as detailed as possible, and kind of leave spacing to include other things. Like I want to do a building. Okay, great. Successful. It's going to be on what street? How, and then later on you go back and decide how high do you want the building when you find out the air rights, the restrictions. How high can it actually go up? Same thing with the landscaping company. You want to get a truck, you want to do landscaping? Okay, cool. What area are you going to target? How are you going to market it? What equipment are you going to get? Detailed. Visions need detail. That's your first step. Write the vision and make it plain so that when you read it, you can run after it. But also, when someone maybe is looking to give you funding and say, okay, you know what? Let's just say, hey, got a blank check for you. I got a check for $100,000. How are you going to spend it? Do you know most people that quote unquote say they want to be successful and want to start a business don't know how to really spend or invest or kind of take $100,000 and put it to use? I'm not talking about going to buy the chains. I'm not talking about going to buy the watches. I'm not talking about going to buy the clothes or taking the trips or doing the phone. No. How are you going to distribute this money into different areas to build your business? Most people don't have a clue. Most people cannot because they have not written the vision down. They want to sell t-shirts, but don't know what's going to go in the t-shirt. They have a vision of moving, don't know the area, don't know the rent, don't know what's going to qualify them. They want to buy a house, don't know what their credit is. Don't know what mortgages are available to them. Don't know how much of a mortgage they can get. Don't know how, if they want to get a fixed arm, the adjustable rate mortgage. They don't know if they want to get a 30. They don't have any idea, but they say it nice. And this is what we give to each other. You know, we'll say things, oh yeah, I'm going to buy a house. The person go, word, yo, I hear you. And before you know it, y'all still walking down into your one-bedroom shack. Or you still walking into under the bridge. Because talking is not the same as walking. Which takes me to my next step. After you get the vision, there is something that many people falter at, and they never get past one. They never get the first one because for some reason they've allowed fear. They've allowed the unknown. I speak about that in my book, Tell Your Boss No Thanks. Taking a step out of the unknown into the unknown, is scary. is Stephen, please come here for a second. Taking a step into the unknown, let's face it, it's unknown what's out there. Do me a favor, go by the door. No, go by the door and get Daddy's book. Okay, that's on the table. Taking a step. There's 2 books over there, Stephen. Bring me both of them, please.
Okay, one and then both.
Okay.
You mean with the guy opening the door?
The guy opening the door. Yes, the guy opening the door. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Give me this one. Okay, you can go back to studying, doing your stuff. Go back in your room and do your work. He said the guy opening the door, going out the door. This book right here, Tell Your Boss No Thanks. I discussed in this book the unknown, taking a step into almost darkness, taking a step into an area that you've never been, uncharted territory, like walking in fresh snow, like walking in the pitch black. And someone says, success is right there. We don't know what's there. And most people get, if you will, frozen, stiff, will not move toward it. Why? Because they fear what's there. And I always say, yes, there could be danger there, but there could also be success. There could be, in fact, everything you need right around the corner. But most people don't take the second step, which is the execution. To start to do something. I had someone tell me when I was writing my first book years ago, just start writing, I think he said 5 pages or half an hour or 5 minutes a day. And let it go from there. And I'm not kidding you. In the beginning, I used to say, man, a book. Now, I knew years ago that I was going to write books. I knew it years ago. It was in my heart to do it. It was afar off, like success, afar off. And as things started happening in my life, not all positive to start, it availed the opportunity for me to start writing. And I was still a little hesitant. And I decided, okay, I spoke to someone very important. Let me put a pin right here. It's important to rehearse your dreams and your visions with the right people. If you discuss it to the wrong people, they will give you every reason in the world why it's not the best dream, why it's not the right time, and most of all, why you shouldn't do it. Those are the people that you want to go, thanks, and go that way. Those are the people that you want to absolutely ignore. Hey, I appreciate that, never receiving a word. I have this saying right now, I don't receive what you're saying. I don't receive what you're saying, period. It never gets in. I don't receive it. Because people, for whatever reason, jealousy, envy, some people think that they should be further ahead than you and you should never get on the platform they're on. So therefore, they will say everything, sometimes maybe not even knowing, unconsciously saying something to deter you from getting in a lane that you know you should be in or you feel that you should or you desire to be in. Because let's face it, sometimes we take steps and don't know where it's going to go. But we feel like I have to step from here. You want to go in, you want to talk to people who are going to fan your flames. You ever start a fire? Any kind of fire. And in the beginning, I don't care if it's an instant, anything. It doesn't quite catch on and you have to kind of fan it. Put some wind to it. Put some wind. Like a sail. You can't go anywhere. You ever gotten inside of a boat and you had a sail? You wait for that wind to come in order to jump in the wind. You ever fly a kite? Same thing. I've done all these things that I'm saying. You can sit and have your kite on the ground. Worst thing to have a kid waiting for this kite to fly and you have no wind at all. You can run as much as you want. If it is a still day, it is not going anywhere. You want to speak to people who can fan your flames. And I say this inside of my book. It's going to be good to have those people, but get this. Sometimes those people are not going to be necessary. Not they're not going to be necessary. They're not going to be available. And it's at those points you're going to go back to what you wrote. In that book, I speak about put your why down. Why are you doing this? What are you doing and why are you doing it? Because you're going to have to rehearse it back to yourself and be your biggest and your best cheerleader. Why? Because people typically don't jump on board to anything that's not going up already. For some strange reason, especially your friends and your family. Those are the ones that are going to, I had someone tell me when I got ready to write, I don't know why everybody think they could just go ahead and write a book just because they feel like they had through some life experiences. And I said, wait a minute. Talking about Jackie Collins, you talking about all the big writers, you talking about Bishop T.D. Jakes, you talking about you, because people do start writing from the Charlemagne the God, you name it. People with mental health, people start writing, quote unquote, from their experiences. So when a person said that years ago, I didn't receive what they were saying. I didn't receive it. I didn't even say anymore. And I put a note, do not discuss anymore with this person. And when the book came out, it came out and it sold and it's still selling. And I'm like, wow, you know, and I've heard the person mention many times, my books are selling more than theirs are. It's not a competition, and it never was and it never will be. But it's amazing how people will not fan your flames. People will not encourage you initially. And those are the people you want to say, okay, that's not a problem. I appreciate it. I don't receive what you're saying. Even if you say it in your mind, but I like to say it out loud and just keep going. You write that vision, you read that vision, you encourage yourself through that vision, and you execute. You take a step into the unknown. You take a step out there, because just as much as it could be a disaster, there could be success there. The third step that you need to take, and this is where people, they just not even fail at doing it, they just don't do it, and it stops them. I had someone send me a meme. They sent it through IG, and they showed a guy chipping away, and you guys might have seen it. Chipping away. He has a pitchfork, and he's chipping the axe, you know, with the hammer, and he's looking for treasure, and he's chipping away. He's chipping away, and he stops. He puts it down, and it shows the other side. There's the biggest diamond that would have changed his life. Changed his life, and it was separated by almost this much. It was separated by almost this much of rock still left. Now, was it a rock? Yes. Did he still have to put forth effort? Yes. And he refused. He had enough, and he stopped. And right on the other side of that, one more swing, he would have done it. My third step is continue to completion. Finish what you started. Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't turn back. This is why people fail to be successful, because they stop too soon. But wait a minute. Get off the too soon part and say they stop. Success comes to those who will go and do what is necessary. Lack of food. I had somebody say, I'm going to make my place, and my brand is going to pay for my place. Because they have decided no matter what I do, I'm going to keep pressing. You don't know at what level success or what moment success will come. But I promise you, it will come. Not sure of the measure. It will come if you continue. Persistence overcomes resistance. But the problem again is people get discouraged. I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm broke. I don't have any more money. I don't have any more time. I had a kid. I'm getting married. My wife left me. My kids don't want to talk to me. So I can't read anymore. I can't write anymore. Let's face it. There are 1,000,001. I'm going to say glorified excuses. Because the bottom line has to be, again, and I hate to keep referencing it, and I didn't set out to it, even in my book, Tell Your Boss No Thanks. I mentioned in that it is according to, you have to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? When you want it more than sleep, when you want it more than a club, when you want it more than quiet family time, when you want it more than sitting back with your girl or your wife watching Showtime, watching HBO, when you want it more, and I mentioned this, it's coming back to me, when you want it more than going to look at your kids playing soccer, when you want it more than going out to hang out with your homie, when you want it more than going for a ride, when you want it more than going away, when you want it more than food, you will have it. You have got to want it and desire it and need it for your existence. It has to be intertwined with your very existence. You can't let anything stop you or change your mind. If it does change your mind, it was never in your mind enough. If it changes your mind, you never embraced it fully with both hands. Have you ever seen someone that's about to drown and somebody rescues them? You notice how they hold the person? Legs, arms, everything. They lock in. And no matter what they said, I am not going to die here. You came to rescue me. I'm going to either pull you down or you're going to get us there. You've got to want it like that. Example. People, those that follow me, those that know me, I ride motorcycles, love motorcycles. I've fallen off a motorcycle twice doing 100 miles an hour. Twice. I wanted to continue riding. I wanted to keep having fun. I love, love, love motorcycles. So what happened? I fell. If you can look on my face, my arm, I have scars here. You look here, I have scars on my elbows. My knees have scars. Did it stop me from riding? No. Why? Because it's in me to keep riding. Do I ride a little slower? I do at times. I don't ride anymore over 100 miles an hour in the rain, which is one of the falls that I did coming back from Jones Beach with about 60 people. I was in the lead. And because I get this, wanted to win enough, I twist that throttle. And anybody that knows Sergeant Bo, I go. So I fell. We went around a turn. And everybody knows when it rains, there's a little degree of oil. I fell. But I got back up. And that's what you have to do. Every time you fall, get back up. If you fall 7 times, get up 8. If you fall 20 times, get up 21 times. What am I saying? Easy. Don't stop. Michael Jordan, who may be the best sharpshooter ever, I don't consider him the best player in the world ever. I don't consider him that because I think he was, if you will, one-dimensional. And I think he had a very, very great supporting cast. Like literally, the Worm. He had everybody around him. Anybody that has a Scottie Pippen consistently, but he had other people. He had a good 5 and he had the bench that was good enough. But anyway, everybody always looks at how many times he scored. Do you know how many thousands of times he missed? But he did not stop. Look at Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods was going up this. He reached the pinnacle of his craft. Best golf player in the world. I don't know how. This is another message for how to find a wife. He was successful with that wife. Cheated on that wife. It came back to him. I've been telling somebody that I know in my heart that I love. Things come back to you. You keep messing over and messing with people. It's almost like a bucket. It comes back to you no matter what. No matter what, it comes back to you. There's a way that the life has to even it out. So he got hit. He got divorced. All these people came out. He went so far down in his career. People started talking about him. Will he ever get back up? Some people said he'll never be the same. He's old. He has been. He's this and he's that. Guys that were in his also, with him, Mickelson and all of those, they continue. They won awards. They got the green jackets. Got all the other different accolades. And Tiger Woods was just down. And that's understandable. But here's the thing. He didn't stay down. He got back up. And he won again. He got the next jacket again. He got it again. Why? Because resilience. He was resilient. Persistence overcame resistance. And let me just say right now, a roadblock is not a stop. It is a detour. When you can't find one way to get somewhere, take another route. A woman that you have determined that you want to be with, what do? You call her up. As long as she's taking the calls, that's one thing. Doesn't take the calls, maybe she'll take a visit. Maybe she'll take a voicemail. Maybe she'll take a text. You don't give up when she says, I want to just be friends. Well, wait a minute. I want to be more. And here's the reason why. Men, when they get their sights on a woman, they don't give up. What do? They speak to them in the morning, speak to them in the evening, let them know you are on my mind. And then they start rehearsing, quote unquote, that's the vision, where they see themselves going with that person. Now, the woman has to accept it or not, and you don't want to, of course, be with someone that you want to reject, that's going to reject you. But you keep putting forth that effort. Why? Because your vision and your execution, you recognize, will bring about the success that you desire. All you have to do is keep going. It's keep going. I mentioned it yesterday, the countless hours that I've studied, the countless hours that I put in to not only reading my Bible, having 6 and 7 different books and concordances and all kind of lexicons and all going. And I was speaking to somebody yesterday. I took the Hebrew and took the Greek and did these and learned and put myself where it was they were in the first century, in the early church and all of that. And I've studied and I've gotten books just on Romans alone. And I've gone through and I've written sermons over and over again. And I've eaten my messages, which means I've studied more than 40 hours in a single week, taught just a message that I wrote. Much more than that. Why? Because I have a vision of where I am going to be and what I am to do in this life. I think the vision was given to me. The desires of my heart, I believe, were given to me by God. So what does it cause me to do? It causes me to get up early. It causes me to go down late. It causes me to be effective and efficient in my everyday life. When I start writing my autobiography, and you all will read the different things that I encountered, some of you are going to be completely shocked. And then you're going to see, whereas I practice what I preach. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have things that deter you. You're going to have things that stop you. You're going to have things that push you back. You're going to take losses. You're going to take water into your boat. You're going to have broken relationships. But if you keep going forward, even when you're down, take a knee where you are. If you go back 1, go back up 2 steps. It will happen. No matter what, it will happen. Whatever it is in life that you desire to do, your level of success will be measured by your effort, what you put in, and how often, how consistently you do it. Time and time again. I heard someone saying success is like this: doing everything you can, becoming totally spent from all your efforts in the day, and seeing no results, and getting up the next day and doing more. Seems about right. Seems about right. My first book launch that I had, very, very first one, planned it to a T. Had a wonderful person that was by my side helping me to organize because I'd never done it before. That was their gift. Maybe we'll speak about that on another time. That was their gift. So they got, they were telling me, okay, here's your checklist. This is what you want to do. I booked the venue for a couple $1,000s. Now, the vision was there. I was taking money from this area that I did not like. And I was doing it, getting money, and shifting it toward what I wanted to do. We need to talk about that. That's also in the book, Tell Your Boss No Thanks. I was using funds that I was making and shifting it. I got a comedian, someone to do spoken word. I got food catered. I got the hall that was $1,000 upstairs, downstairs, everything. I got the book published. I got the book delivered to me. I paid extra for this. I paid extra for that. I got somebody to edit it. The first person fell down. I got somebody else that at least put it together and packaged it. I did all of this, and it was the biggest rainstorm that you would ever imagine the same night as my book launch. I had the new clothes to match. I had the posters created. I had everything. I think a third, maybe not even a third of the people who were invited and were coming did not show up because of the weather. It was that bad. It was. It was shockingly horrible. I could have looked at this freak of nature, this weather, and said, I can't believe this. My God, I must not be meant to be a best-selling author. It must not be meant for me to be a speaker that goes places and has a book to speak about to help men, the reconstruction of the family, starting with the man, the Godhead. I must have heard and gotten the 8 steps from God wrong. And I must have imagined it. Even though I wrote them down from my dream, I must have imagined that, because look what happened. No. The storm happened, but it revealed something in me, and it caused a reaction in me. Hear me now. When the storm came, it only asked me, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? What was it? The vision. How bad do you want the vision? this happened, stopped you. You didn't recoup your money. You lost money. The people didn't come. They applauded you from a distance. You did everything you could. You got this money up and it wasn't easy. You didn't just write a check for things. You scraped together, you got it all together, and you anticipated, and it didn't go like you planned. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want this success? How bad do you want all things to be righteous in every man's life? Which means he's got his wife and his kids. Everything is rocking right. Everything is locked in. Everything is moving forward. God at the center. Every man being accountable for his household and his women and his children. How bad do you want it? I answered with a resounding, I give everything to it. Whatever's necessary. Resounding, yes, I want it. How bad? To give everything I have toward it. Because I believe in you. I believe in my brothers. I believe in my sisters. I believe in the little babies. So you know what I did? Dust myself back off. Took it like, okay, I spent all this money. Had to pay the spoken word. Had to pay the comedian. Gave this away. Gave that away. People ate for free. Whatever the case may be. And I kept going. What happened? I started selling books hand to hand. People started purchasing the books from me directly through PayPal. They reached out to me at TSpeaks at Gmail. They cash apped me TSpeaks Live. And they said, hey, I want that book. I would be in the street and sell the book. I sold more books and am still selling books in the most unorthodox way. And then I started getting speaking engagements, taking my books and selling out of them. Not only did I make back the money that I spent on the book release, I've been able to eat off of it. My kids have been able to eat off of it. I've been able to buy things for people with the money from the book sales. And when I travel with my books with an S. And now do better than I've ever done before. Than I do ever before. Hold on, what do you need?
I was done tracing my letters.
Okay, I'll be right there, okay?
Okay.
It was something that happened, but it didn't stop me. It slowed me down. It caused me to take a step back. It caused me to take a knee. But I kept going. The third step is keep going to finish. Keep going. Execute, execute, execute. And don't stop until you get what you are after, and that is success. That's your third step. Keep going. Keep fighting. Keep pounding away at it. Does it get hard? It gets way more than hard. It gets harder than you could ever imagine. But success only yields its fruit to those that have stood the test of time, that have continued when no one else was around, after fights, after arguments. Whatever you want to be successful. A successful marriage is going to take some knockdown, drag down fights from husband and wives. It's going to take, I'm not speaking to you until we get ready to go to bed. It's going to take some old, I think I want to let go, not at the same time. It's going to take some old, why did I do this? It's going to take everything. But at the end, you're going to have what? A successful marriage that's been weathered, that has weathered every storm and gotten stronger through it. So my earlier challenge for my book launch prepared me for the times when I would face things later. And I go, that's nothing. Why? Because I made it through worse. So every test is strength in that test. Every time that you're weak, he gives you strength. Don't worry. My third step, keep going. I'm TSpeaks, family. No matter what, we are going to do this. We're going to break the ceiling. We're going to get the shackles off of your mind. And by the way, I did say yesterday, you guys need to grab this book. 8 Steps. This was it. This is it. 8 Steps to Wholeness for Men for Father's Day. Email me, Cash App. Listen, you guys can go in my DM me, in my profile. The link is there. You guys can go to the webpage, TSpeaks.com. You can order your books. If you want to know about your future and your vision and what should you do, you want to grab this one right here. Tell your boss no thanks. It is filled with so much meat for your life, not just how to quit your job or to quit your boss or to tell them no thank you so that you can live the best life, because we are all leaving here one way. So death is absolute, guaranteed, but living isn't. Do what you need to do to get where you're supposed to be. You have a destiny to get to. Let nothing stop you. Take the 3 steps, okay? The 3 steps. Write the vision, make it plain. Number 2, execute the vision. And number 3, don't give up. I believe in you. I'm TSpeaks.